I'll be
27th
back.
of October, Rabbi, or I guess Shmuel, substituting for Rabbi Levitt, Gomorrah.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, he got on. Roy got on, and then he got. It's the second time within a minute or two that he's.
Have you tried rebooting your router, Roy?
No, he's frozen.
He's frozen again. Yeah. There he goes. And I don't know where Phil is today.
Oh, who's Phil? What's Phil's name? Phil. What's his last name? Phil.
Savrensky, I think it's pronounced.
Sorensky. Are you in? You look familiar. You do you go to Rabbi Baum's share?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I go every day from 4 to 6.
I'm a cousin. My cousin. I'm cousin with Levi Meyer, who's.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, he's the one that organized this year.
Yeah.
You're his cousin?
Yeah, his mother is my first cousin.
Very nice.
So,
You're his first cousin once removed.
right.
Yeah, I met him through my son. He used to, but before I came to Israel, my son was here, and Rabbi Meyer used to host him a lot for Shabbos.
He was learning in the yeshiva.
My son, no, he was learning with Rabbi Meyer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice family, Baruch Hashem. They lived in Monsey. I used to live there. I used to go there a lot. They would invite me for Shabbos. Nice people.
Rabbi Baum is a really good teacher.
Sorry?
I said Rabbi Baum is a very good teacher.
Oh, he's the best. Wow.
Very knowledgeable.
Baruch Hashem. Yeah, I actually once came, and at the beginning right when it started, just to sit there and see how it went. It was really he puts a lot of work into it. Everybody is interested. It's a very nice. It's a real limud. It's a real seder.
Right. Yeah.
What are you learning now? What are you doing now? Which was halachas?
He jumps around. We've been learning in Eruvin about koach nefesh, and instances where you can violate Shabbos.
Oh, right. Wow.
The wall falls down, and you don't know. You saw somebody. You don't know if he's in there or not. You don't know if he's Jewish or not. And can you do malacha?
To extricate him, right?
Right. And you
when I was there with,
right. Alive? How do you figure out if he's dead or alive? All kinds of things like that.
Interesting. That's a lot of touches on a lot of important topics. Yeah, very. When I was there, you were learning about people in Yanim of Avelis, in Yanim of a person after I forgot exactly all the Yanim of people when they're in mourning.
Right.
Remember that? I don't know when that was. Maybe I don't remember. Must have been.
I remember he started with Shemitah.
Oh.
We did Shemitah for like about 3 or 4 weeks. And then
that's good.
We moved on to something else, but I don't remember what you're talking about.
That was a while ago. It was like maybe a year ago. I don't remember if. Hello, hi.
Here.
Roy is back.
This year only started about 2 months ago.
Yeah, right. It started right. I mean, it had there was a small like a summer I guess like a pilot program. I don't know what would you call it. In the summer.
Right. That's exactly right. The pilot program was the Shemitah.
Holy Shemitah, that was it. Okay.
And then when that seemed to work out, then we took a break and then we continued after when the new month started.
Anyway, okay, good. But I'm happy to hear it's working. Baruch Hashem. Roy, Roy also is in the share, the Rabbi Baum?
No, I haven't been able to convince him to come.
To where?
Hey, Rabbi Yehuda Baum gives a shir every day in Ramat Eshkol from 4 to 6.
Hello, Phil.
How you doing?
It's very close to you. And Alan comes to it.
Oh, that's nice. So you don't need me.
We definitely need you, Roy. Need somebody to make fun of.
Oh, thanks very, very much. No wonder this thing doesn't work all the time.
I jinxed it for you.
It's got good taste.
Anyway, Baruch Hashem, you're working, you're here. Good. Okay, we'll start. Very good. I'm sorry about yesterday. I already apologize. My server or whatever, the modem, I don't know, whatever. It was not, it was outside of, it was something system. You know what I mean? Whatever, one of those things.
I haven't had this as bad for a long time. So anyway. All right. Business.
Sometimes all it takes is unplugging and plugging it back in and it goes.
That's what I keep.
Yeah, no, this was the phone system, everything was the phone, which it wasn't a computer related issue. It was just the the phone line, which it was something to do with the company, and they didn't have a service for like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden it went. So I called them up till I got to speak to somebody, and he says, "Well, of course you have service." I said, "I didn't." Well, now you have. He just poo-pooed the whole thing, like as if it was my own imagine. I imagined the whole thing. They have a way of doing that, making you really, really stupid. But it was. I hope it doesn't happen again. Okay, it's a shame. It's what do you call that company? It's what do you call it? Something. One of the big companies here in Israel, and they use Bezek. What?
Bezek?
No, it's Bezek. Exactly. It's not Bezek. It's Bezek. They use Bezek's lines. What is it called? I don't know. Whatever it is. Their connection with Bezek. So it sounds like they're blaming Bezek. Okay, we've had such trouble in the last year or two with these things and these companies, and we're changing companies, and then they keep on. It's just is a big mess. My wife is already very frustrated. And okay, now whatever we have back normal service, even if our phone number is not our regular phone number. We have a temporary. I told them we have a temporary phone number for the last. They said it would take a half hour to revert back to our old phone number. That was six months ago. They told us it would be a half hour till we would get back our regular phone number, and we're still waiting for that half hour to. That magical half hour. Okay.
Another phone company.
Anyway, Baruch Hashem. We have, at least we're online now. Okay, I don't know what you got up to because I was. Did anybody?
We're doing the new Mishnah.
Yes.
I wasn't here yesterday either.
Okay.
We continued in the Mishnah up to near the end where it talks about one striking his father or mother.
Okay. That there's two. There's I think there's two at the end. There's two parts. The first part of the Mishnah speaks about if he strikes them without causing any wound. If he doesn't cause a wound, then he has to pay for the damages, right? And then the end of the Mishnah speaks about if there was a wound, if he caused the wound by hitting his mother or father, then he will be excused from paying for damages, because we went through, there's a rule, it's called, or known in the Gomorrah Lashon, it's known as what is the Tana Devei Chizkiah? That means if a person has a much bigger punishment waiting for him, he will not be reliable for the smaller punishment. And a person who strikes his mother and father, the bigger punishment is waiting for him. So we don't make him pay money, monetary damages. The same thing would be if a person. Okay, we'll see it in the Mishnah. Let's go. So who would like to say that? So I'm sorry. So Lou, which can you show us where I wasn't around?
Okay, well, for those with the art school, it's 87A3, top of the page, second paragraph. For you, Rabbi, it's near the bottom of the page. Hamakeh. Let me see if I can find it. Hamakeh. Okay, so it's one from the bottom. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 lines up from the bottom. The third word on the line is Hamakeh. The first word of the line is Hivin.
Right. Okay. Who would like? Maybe Phil. Phil, you'd like to read?
Let's see. The Hamaka, you want to start it? Okay. Hamaka Avivima, somebody who wounds his father or mother. Va'asahem b'chubar, he makes a wound in them. V'havo b'chavero, somebody who wounds his friend. The Shabbos, on Shabbos, they're putter. They be putter. Mikulam, from everything. Mipnei shehu nedun b'nafsho, because he's judged for his life. It's a capital punishment for wounding your parent, or that's the parent one, and the friend, the fact that he did it on Shabbos, he'd be somebody doing the kares for doing that action on Shabbos. The chovel, where am I? The chovel be'evet Kanani, and if someone strikes a Canaanite service, he's pater b'kolom, he's pater from all. I mean, the only damage he's doing by striking a servant is himself. It's his own person. It's like his own, as we said before. Unfortunately, it's considered chattel property, the servant, his Canaanite servant. So therefore, he doesn't have to pay them anything. It's no big deal. That unless you have, the only issue you have is the case of blinding, and just a wound is not the issue. Blinding and knocking an eye out and stuff like that. That's the blinding, or he's cutting his hand off, but that's not the same situation here.
That's right.
Who, from whom does he get kares? The Hashem or the?
Yeah, kares is from Hashem.
Could it be from?
It doesn't get kares for wounding his slave.
No, that was the servant I'm talking about. The kares phase only talked about the Shabbos one. Doing a wound on Shabbos. That was the kares.
No, that's not kares. That's chayav beistin. Chayav misa beistin.
That's right. That's the only time we say that the only time we say that that he's pater from damages is if it's the highest level. If it's best in the skila, or one of the 4, he's chayav misa in Besdin. Then even if it's not, he wouldn't be. There is no Besdin even now, like nowadays, or he didn't have the witnesses, whatever. He would still be off the hook for the monetary damages. But if it's something which is only chayiv kares, he would be chayiv for all the damages. Hence, on Yom Kippur, at the beginning of the Mishnah, we didn't see that. If he would have hit his friend and caused the wound on Yom Kippur, he would be chayiv to pay his friend, because all on Yom Kippur there's only a chiv kares for a malacha. There's no Shabbos has a chiv misas besdin, but Yom Kippur has a chiv kares. So it's a lower level, and he would be chayiv. We would not give him the kamle. We would not say he's off the hook for the payment. Right. So right, exactly. So it's a chiv besdin is the type of chi of misa that makes him pater from any restitution, which would mean a lot of kibbut aveim or any Shabbos malacha, or other, I don't know what else would it be, avodah zarah, if he would do something connected with avodah zarah. But a lot of chiv kares, which is basically a lot of arayas, is something like that, would be all something connected with which chiv kares would be. He would have to pay. He would have to pay. Okay, that's good. Yes. It's interesting. What about it seems like he's the man who hit his slave has no what do you call it? There's no fine. Even it seems like he even is off the hook for medical, for any medical bills. He'd be off the hook. That's what it seems from this Mishnah. And before we said if he hit a slave of his friend's slave, or he would be chayiv. Right. Right. If somebody else hits, if the owner hits the Eved Kanani, he doesn't have to pay anything to the Eved Kanani, including medical bills. That's the halacha here. Okay. That's the halacha.
Should we go to Rashi on this or something?
Yes, it is Rashi. Very good. I meant but if someone, let's say another person hit his Eved Kanani, if Reuven hit Shimon's Eved Kanani, Reuven of course has to pay Shimon, and Shimon has to pay has to make sure that the medical bills are going to go to heal the Eved. But if Shimon himself hits his own Eved, he has no responsibility of paying for anything, including medical bills. Okay, any Rashi?
I don't see any Rashi in this part.
There's no Rashi. Okay. We could start, I guess, the Gomorrah. Okay, that's good. We'll start Gomorrah. Anybody, what do you want to fill? You want to continue with Gomorrah a little?
Or somebody else on is okay. I did other
Okay.
things. I'll do the Rashi. Usually Lou and I read the Rashis and and the others read the Gomorrah.
You're doing Taisus also?
If there is something relative. If not, if only, we will, if there's something.
There is actually a footnote that says that the Tosfos comments on paying the medical bills for the Eved Kanani.
Oh, really? Right. Okay. Yeah, you want to see them? That's okay. That's the Taisus here.
You want to do the Tosfos?
Would you like this? I'm sorry?
Lou, do you want to do the Tosfos? You want me to read the Tosfos?
I'll take a crack at it. Which one is it?
It's the second from the bottom of the page. The Eved Kanani Shalo Patur Mikulam.
Shalo Patur Mikulam. For a Canaanite slave, he is exempt from all of them. The Im Tomar say the Ha Birifu Aso Chayiv. And if you will say that he is obligated for the healing, Kede Ka'amar the Perekuf.
First Perekama, the first Perek.
Hirikama, the Gittin. And if you'll say that he has to pay healing, as it says in the first Perik of Gittin, Gabe Kita Yad Abdo Shel Chavero. What is Kita?
Kita is to cut off.
Cutting off his hand.
To cut off his hand. I'm just getting it. Go get.
And the hand of a servant of his friend. Notain Sheba so Rufuaso. What is Shibaso?
Shevis is the compensation, his wages, the employment compensation.
So he has to pay his lost wages and his healing, Lirabo, to the master.
Yeah, the
That's
master
right.
of the slave. Because it's not your slave you're doing it to. If you're doing it to you're cutting off the hand of a slave of a friend of yours, somebody else's. So now you took his master's use out of him. So you have to pay the wages that the slave would have done, and you have to pay the healing slave of that other guy's slave.
Yefarech refuaso D-Day he and it explains that the healing also Deboye East Sui Bay. What's East Sui?
What? I'm sorry.
What's this
The boy
word?
is Suybe. I'm looking up the Gemara right now.
What?
Tzuya means to heal. I think to heal. The question. The Gemara says. The Gemara says. Parker force the dehu. The boy is Suybe. I think it means he has to heal him. What is it? It sounds like you're paying the rabbo. You're paying the rabbo, and the rabbo just keeps the money in his pocket. It's not true. The rabbo has to give over the money to the evid. It has to give the money the money that was given for his medical bills. He has to hand it over to the evid. He can't keep it, right?
Right. Mishnah lo tzricha
Well, Mishana, the Gemara answers the question. You understand the question? The question is: it sounds like the rabbi takes the money that was given for medical bills and he just puts it in his pocket, and the evid has to fend for himself. This evid who was hurt, and the Gemara says that's not true. The rabbi, if the rabbi gets the money for the medical bills, he has to hand it over to his evid. He can't keep it. The master can't keep that payment for the medical bills. The rabbi has to give it to his servant. That's what if it's for medical bills, how could he keep it take it for his own use? He has to use it to pay the doctor's bills of his evid, right? The Gemara answers, you're right. He does have to pay. He does have to transfer it to his evid. What we're talking about is case. What happens if he paid him for 5 days worth of doctor's bills, and then at the end, all he needed was 3 days of hospital stay. So there's 2 more days, which at the end of the slave didn't need to be in the hospital. So who keeps those 2 days of the hospital, the money right? Let's make it money. The doctor told the doctor said that it'll cost us $500 to heal this evid, to heal the slave. So the one who did the damages gave the owner of the slave $500. He said, this is to pay for the medical bill. Right. Okay. At the end, it turns out they gave him a strong medicine, and all he needed was $300 of medical bills. So the owner of the slave has $200, which is extra, right? What do you say? Everybody follows?
Mhm.
I think you've gone ahead of where I've read.
Okay, so maybe start again. Right? What did he do? He cut off his hand. So he of his friend's slave. So what does he have to do?
He has to give him the wages and the healing. He has to give the wages and the healing to the master, to the owner of the slave.
Right.
What is this word? Parich?
Asks.
Ask?
Asks.
Over Parach, the Gemara there asks and Bava and Gittin.
Oh, the Gomorrah in Gittin asks, what about the healing? Does he need to heal the slave?
He definitely does. It's a question mark. It belongs to the slave owner. The boy he has to hand it over to the slave. What is he keeping the money for? Right? He can't keep the money. It sounds like the slave owner keeps all the monies. He can't keep the monies that is going for the hospital bills. He has to give it over to the slave, right?
Including the surplus.
Oh, so that's man. But the Gemara asks, it sounds like the slave owner just keeps all the money and puts it in his pocket. But that's not true. The medical bills the owner has to pay with the money he got from the one who did the injury, the one who caused the mazik, the one who caused the injuries. So why do you make it sound like the slave owner keeps the money for himself, right? That's the Gemara's question. Umishani?
Umishane, that means it's different?
Umishani, the Gemara answers,
it's not necessary to stand for 5 days. What is this word? Sama?
The hey yomi. That's it. The Gemara answers that we're talking about a very specific case where originally the insurance gave the slave owner, insurance. The one who did the damages gave the slave owner 5 days of medical bills. 5 days of the medicine needed, and at the end, what happened was, it turns out all he needed, they gave him very strong medicine, and at the end, it turns out all he needed was 3 days of this medicine, right? In other words, there's 2 days of medicine which was paid for, but was not needed. Okay?
Actually says a day medicine.
Sama means needed?
Huh? Sama Harifa, they gave him very strong medicine, strong lotion, strong salve, some strong type of.
Zam is a drug. So basically, Zam Trafer is a drug.
They gave him a strong drug, and it cured the slave, or in other words,
you thought him quicker. You thought it's like the Beis Din evaluating number of markers. He thought it was going to be so many days' wages, and he got better shorter because the drug
right.
was quicker. So why should I pay the extra days?
He got better in 3 days as opposed to 5. He got better in 3 days. It's usually the doctor, the way the outlook is you need 5 days of medicine, and then he's better. But they gave him such a strong medicine, in 3 days he was already healed. So who gets the 2 days of extra 2 days of it was set aside for medical bills, 2 days, which now is extra money. right? So there's like $200 on the side, which we don't have to give the Eved. We don't have to pay the doctor's bills. So who keeps the money? Does the owner of the slave owner keep the money? Does the slave keep the money? Who keeps that extra $200? So the Gemara says that $200 belongs to the slave owner. And that's what it means when it says the slave owner keeps the money. It doesn't mean he keeps the money needed for the medical bills. He keeps the money which turns out which was extra medical money, money which was that's what the Gemara it says means. In other words, you have to pay for the medical. You have to heal your slave with the money that was given to you from the guy who did the damage to your slave. You have to pay this. You have to use that money. But if there's extra money, the slave owner could keep that extra money. Okay, that's right. So what's the question of Tosfos? The question of Tosfos is, you see clearly from this Gemara that the slave owner has a duty to heal, to hand over money which is for medical for them, to help heal the Eved. So how could our Mishnah say if he damages his Eved Kanani, he's totally patur from any paying for any type of restitution? He has to help. He has to pay for the medical bills. We see from the Gemara Gittin, he has to pay for the medical bills for his slave, right? Okay.
Mm.
Well, we lost Lou.
Sorry, I have some drilling going on in my house.
And okay, so anyway, Tosfos is trying to understand.
Yesh Lomar is Tosfos' answer?
Yesh Lomar, exactly. Tosfos answers, yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah. Yesh Lomar, yes. The answer is, yeah, Yesh Lomar, you could answer, yes.
I'll pick it up. You ready? Okay, Lou.
What? Yeah,
I'm gonna
go
pick it up,
ahead.
Lou.
'Cause I have a lot of noise, of drilling noise, so I can't hear.
V'yesh Lomar, and there that say the Hachinam of here, he's patur meklum. He would be patur from all of them. Hayuna mean he's thrown because there is this leftover of the evaluation of the 5 days, the 5 days. The Im say the Gimel, this is he got healed, the Gimel, and he got healed in 3 days. The Im has you were answering the question, reading ahead of the Tosfos. The Im Talmud, he would say, what Tif Shot Mimena.
Okay, so that Tosfos answers that our Mishnah also agrees with them. I just wanted, Tosfos agrees that our Mishnah, you'll have to say, is when the Mishnah says, it's a little bit unclear from the Mishnah, but when the Mishnah says that the slave owner doesn't have to pay the slave anything, it's actually talking, it's talking about a special case where, of course, he has to pay for the it seems like Tosfos says he has to pay for the.
It's basically saying that he has to pay, but
He has to pay.
To the master. So that's so when we say klum, it's really to the slave that's not getting it, but the master's getting it.
Right. Okay. This is okay. This is dealing with with the. Now
I can't say the master's getting it. In our mission, the master is the one who caused the damage. He's not going to get
No,
it.
the two masters. The master, he's slitting the slave of his friend. So the master of his friend's slave who he is.
No,
No.
it's not the same.
He's actually. Tosfos is making Tosfos has a big problem because the Gemara in Gittin seems to imply that you have to pay for your slaves. You have to if you get money to pay for the medical bills of your slave, you have to hand it down the line to your slave. You can't just hold on to the money. You have to transfer it to your slave. So if that's the truth, why if you do the damages to your slave, you don't have to pay any of this refuah. Tosfos understands you should pay, and he says you you would have to pay for medical bills for your slave if you if even if you do the damages, you would have to pay, which is not, it doesn't seem to, from the it doesn't imply that from the words in the Mishnah, but that's what Tosfos says. When it says in the Mishnah that he's pater, it means anything over the amount, something like that. That's how I understand. But maybe.
But the Mishnah says he's pater mikulan, from all
That's
of them.
right. That's right.
But the only amount that's over.
How can you say mikulan doesn't include refuah?
No, it means it's a, that's what Tosfos says. Tosfos says that's it means pater mikulam, over the amount which they thought, the doctors originally thought would be the would be a 5-day what do you call it, regimen, and it turned out it was a 3-day regimen. So pater mikulam means the extra 2 days. That's how Tosfos explains in the Mishnah, which is, you're right. It's not at all. It doesn't explain. It's not exactly. It doesn't. You wouldn't explain. I think that's what it means, but that's what Tosfos learns. It means. What should I tell you? That's Tosfos.
So you said that the Mishnah talks about a special case.
Exactly. It's an ukimta. It's a very specific case which we're talking about, which means that the owner is keeping any extra money which they originally thought would be the amount needed to heal the slave, and it turns out it was an the assessment was more than the real amount needed. So anything over the real amount needed, the owner keeps. Which okay, that's what Tosfos says. That's how I understand Tosfos. Is that how you understand Tosfos? That's what it seems to imply from. That's what I understand.
That's not the special case.
It's I don't know. I don't, unless, isn't this Tosfos talking? But that's our Gomorrah, right? That's the end of the Mishnah. It's not talking about the beginning of the first part where yeah. So in other words, Tosfos' question was, how could our Mishnah say he's pater from all five of the Nezek Tari Pesheves Poishes? One of them is Ripoy. He's pater from helping to pay for his slaves' doctor's bills. And the Gemara in Gittin seems to imply he has to pay for the slaves' doctor's bills. So the Gemara in Gittin says, of course he has to pay for the doctor's bills. The only time he keeps the money is if it was originally a 5-day regimen and they got away with 3-day regimen. So those extra 2 days that he got from the insurance company, he could keep it for himself and he doesn't have to hand it over to the slave. Which would imply that the actual amount needed for the medical bills, he has to make sure the slave gets that money. And so how could our Mishnah say he's pater from giving the slave any money? How could that be? So Tosfos says that it's actually not the Mishnah is talking about the extra money that was given to him to help. That the doctor said it should be 5 days, and it turns out it was 3 days, and so the extra money he would keep, which is a little hard to understand because no one gave him the money. He doesn't have to. I mean, why would you have to give the slave money if he only needed a 3-day hospital stay? And the Gemara asks this question in Gittin. Why would you give the Eved? So why should you give the Eved the extra 2 days if he didn't stay in the hospital for 5 days? He only stayed in the hospital for 3 days. So the Gemara says you would think maybe because they had to give him this strong medication, so it caused him a lot of pain. So you're right. He got it only was a 3-day hospital stay, but the way the doctor's way of healing him caused him a lot of pain. If it would have been a regular, not such a strong medicine, it would have taken 5 days, but he wouldn't have been under such pain. But because the doctors gave him this strong medicine, it lowered the amount of time in the hospital, but but his pain level went much higher. So maybe for that you should give the slave the whole amount of the hospital. The Gemara says no, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. So that's why so you have to say here too. You would say the same thing here too. Even though the slave owner gave him something, a very strong medicine. Why give the slave a strong medicine? Let him be in the hospital for 5 days and give him regular medicine. But no, the slave owner wanted him back on the job, I guess, and he gave him really strong medicine. And it was, I guess, this ointment or something, and it caused him terrible pain. But it healed him in 3 days. So maybe you should give the slave, with the extra 2 days, which he really should have been, allowed. It was you wanted to give him this strong medicine to get him back, back home earlier. And so maybe you should give him the extra money on account of the pain that you caused him. The Gemara says, no, that's not on the owner's problem, and the owner doesn't have to pay for for causing the pain. It's a little complicated.
What's the reference in Gittin?
The Gittin seems to says that he.
I mean, what page in there?
It's on Gittin. It's actually the Tosfos there. If you look over here, when you see it says Visham, you see in our Tosfos, it's good to know this. All over Shas, all over Tosfos, it says Visham in parentheses. You see it says Visham. Daf, on the first line of Tosfos, it says Daf Yud Beis Amud Beis Visham. You see, it's Vav Shin Mem.
Vav Shin.
In the parentheses.
Yes.
See that?
Yes.
That's a cross reference. That's telling you that, just like Tosfos over here asked the question, if you go to Gittin, you'll see the same Tosfos, the same Tosfos. A Tosfos in Gittin will ask the same question that Tosfos over here is asking in Bava Kama. Whenever you see the word Visham in Tosfos, it means to tell you that if you go to that place in the other Gomorrah that Tosfos is bringing down, you will see also on the side a Tosfos which deals with the same question our Tosfos deals with. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. But so what page do I open to? What?
Oh no! If you go, it says Daf Yud Gimel Amud. Daf Yud Gimel. What does it say? I can't.
Yud bet.
Daf Yud, right? Daf Yud Beis Amud Beis.
Oh, Daf Yud Beis, is it?
Yeah, Yud Beis Amud Beis in Gittin. Excuse me. That's the Gemara and
12.
Yeah.
12. Aleph or Beis?
12b. 12b. It's interesting. Certain. I mean, you just noticed that. I don't know. You see certain.
Can't see it.
Sorry.
Can't see it almost.
It's not so clear. It's very small. Certain Gemara. It's interesting. I don't know why. Certain Masechtas in Tosfos will say, "Look at this Gemara," and I mean, and there'll be parenthesis, and the parenthesis will say the Gemara is on Daf so and so Bisham, which means. You will also see a Tosfos dealing over there. If you go to the Gemara in that Masechta that Tosfos sends you to, you will not only see the Gemara there, but you will also see the Tosfos over there is asking the same question as Tosfos over here asks. A lot of the Tosfos, are repetitive, and Visham means to imply that if you go over there, you'll see the Tosfos repeats the same question on the Gemara over there. So that's what Visham means. And anyway, what do you call it? Visham. These are very good. These little parentheses. There's somebody in my over here. His name is Pick, P-I-K. I don't know how to say it. P-I-C-K. And his great grandfather was Yeshaya Pick, who was mentioned. Who's on the, in every Vilna Shas, his name is on the first, the Sharblat on the first, on the first daf of the Masechta, where it says all the Mefarshim. Yeshaya Pick was lived in Berlin. He was called Yeshaya Berlin Pick. He was his father-in-law was Berlin, but his name was Pick. So he did a lot of work on the Shas, giving us the sources. Where this Gemara is mentioned, how many times is this Gemara mentioned all over the place? so we come to a Masechta and a Blat, we take it all for granted, but it was a tremendous amount of different people working on it. And in the Masorah, on the top right hand corner, you have the Masorah Shas, which gives you the places, references, other places where the Gemara speaks about this sugya. And inside the Masorah Shas, you'll find brackets, and those brackets are Rav Shaya Pick's additions. In other words, before Rav Shaya Pick came along, the Masorah Shas was just was much less, a lot of less sources, and he added on, and until today they didn't connect. They made his remarks are in brackets. If you look in the Masorah Shas in the corner, you'll see a lot of the Masorah Shas is with brackets. Some are with brackets and some without brackets. It's just it's funny, but that's the way it is. They never incorporated Rishaya Pick 100% into the Masorah Shas. You have the original Masorah Shas, which was written by another big gadol from Frankfurt, and then you have the Rishaya Pick, which was in the brackets, and that's the way it is. Okay.
All right.
If you're interested in some history, anyway, that was the Taisa. So maybe we'll go back to the Gemara because it's getting a little late, and I'm sorry we're not really. Oh wow, it's very late. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. I think I spoke too much. Thank you.
That was good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think we're done for today.
I'm sorry we didn't get too much ground covered, and it was nice seeing you guys, and have a lot of atzlacha.
You too.
Okay, so
Thank you very, very much.
tomorrow will be somebody else.
I'm sorry I won't be here tomorrow. I have to take my son to an appointment unless things change. Hopefully we'll have somebody substituting here, and then I think for Friday Rabbi Levitt is, or I don't know what your schedule is. Friday you have.
Yeah, Rabbi Levitt will be back on Friday with Hashem.
Okay.
So tomorrow, Phil, I'll try and give you a call and let you know if we're meeting.
Right. I'm not sure what's up. I have to play this day by day anyway, going away with my wife and my son and whatever. So we'll see.
Right.
But you can let me know what's up.
And Roy, you should.
I log on, and if see if there's a meeting, I'm in. And if I see there's no meeting, then I know. But if you tell me in advance, I wouldn't have to run to the computer or try to run to it.
And Roy, you should just come in as normal at 10:30,
Yeah.
and if and I can let you know what's going on at that time.
Okay. All right. Then I'll just come into Rabbi Levitt's.
No, come into here. Come into me.
Yours.
Yeah, Rabbi Levitt won't be here tomorrow for sure.
I'm saying tomorrow, right?
If somebody else is here, then I'll be
Hope
hosting.
so.
Yeah,
Okay, very good. Well, we'll try to get to. I hope someone, and thank you. Okay, Phil and Roy and Lou.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Bye bye.